Hey, welcome. All my right thinkers, thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P-Funk, thinking right, out here in the lab. But I'm in the book. I'm not in one book. I'm in, two books. I'm going to show you the cover. We talk about, right there, Serpent Power. I got a whole book on Serpent Power. Tree of Life, whole book. Glorious Meditation, whole book. So these is lessons I get from the book that I pass on to you. I got a good one for you today. We're going to talk about hiring my cat. Y'all know him as the Sphinx, okay? But what this was the first documented serpent power concept. You see this right here? This right here? For Christians, that's the medical side, and that's the two goddess Nephthys and Aset going up the spine of Asar, okay, the gem pillar. But the wings give us what? Ascension. And the top is the gold what? That's the pineal gland, okay? That's the enlightenment. That's God's knob, okay? That's the communicator. And every one of these pictures show you a different aspect of it. Scales of Ma'at, Judgment Day, okay? The body, the kundalini going up. But this was the original concept of serpent power. Let's talk about that. That's what the lesson is today. Let's rock. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's handle our business. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it. It's to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinker's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practiced daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. You see where we're going with this. So let's get that together, and I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. Yeah, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer, tune in. I got you. Let's go. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to Mayat. Be true. Let's talk about the first historical evidence of what we call WRIGHT Sekhem, or more system for spiritual training, meaning enlightenment to reach a certain level. But it's all based on meditation. I just gave that lesson, so this is the continuation of it. So this is the first sign of what we call serpent power. It's called WRIGHT Sekhem meditation system. This came from showing you Amenhotep, the original meditator. Okay, let's talk about it. I just showed you a picture. All these pictures are pretty much showing you we had serpent power, aka Kundalini conscious or understanding in Egypt. That's all. That's all. I'm not saying good, bad, right, wrong, indifferent. Just we had a form of it, we had a version of it. Okay, let's go. The WRIGHT Sekhem meditation system, what we're going through right now, is the very oldest system known to man. Not Mesopotamia, not Babylon, okay? Egypt. Come on. The oldest ever. We ain't blowing smoke, we about to prove it. When you tell somebody something, you want to be able to back it up. If you have an opinion, and you could, but it should be based on something, not just a thought. Nuh-uh. Proof. Let's go. So the oldest evidence, there we go, let's talk evidence of this great Sphinx itself. The Greeks called the Sphinx is Haramaket. What? Haru on the horizon. We knew just what it was, but they called it something else. And again, I can get past that. It's the Sphinx itself. Well, how old is the Sphinx? They don't know. But we know, according to astrology, stars, they tell time on a whole different level. When we was in the sign of Leo, That's over 10,000 years ago. So we're talking about 10,000 BCE. And that's when they built it. How long it take them to come up with the concept philosophically and the diagram? So it didn't just happen in 10,000, but that's when it was erected. And the purpose is going from my beastly nature, lowest nature, rising, ascended to a higher level. That's why God reckons it by the bird. The spirit reckons it by a bird. Why? You see wings. Everybody got wings to ascend. If you got 4 legs, you're an animal on the ground. Okay, you earthbound. Moving on. All this is symbolic and metaphorical, but it all fits. It makes sense. It ain't just going, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. Trust me. Which was dated back to, you ready? 10,000 BCE. Like I said, I know this. And it is also related to what we got the book Per M. Haru text and in other texts, which you can find in our book we call, what's that say? Serpent Power. All the meditation concepts, all the philosophical principles of the serpent power, Sekhem, okay, Iraq Sekhem, we got it both female concepts, male, but it's called the serpent power. Wow. The Christians really got the serpent thing messed up. It is important, this is more important, to understand, not misunderstand, but to understand and overstand that the serpent power is the essence of all life. We understood that. And it is cultivated, how? Through all spiritual disciplines. I respect the serpent. Obviously, the Roman Catholics didn't. They misunderstood the serpent. When he told Adam and Eve, according to their words, what happened? They ate the tree of life. The tree of life was obtaining knowledge. Let's call it what it is. Okay. If you obtain self-knowledge, you be just like God. We know that that's God's intent. Now, this is we talking about Christian. Before that, we already knew. We didn't fall for this old nonsense. But they say the serpent tempted Eve and stop with the Eve was from a man's rib. That's physically impossible. Oh, I forget. God can do it. Yeah. Y'all kill me with that. It got to make sense. Okay? If you're going to tell me a myth, tell me a myth. If you're going to give me a literal story, make it make sense where I just can't follow stuff that don't make sense. Moving on. But again, it's important to understand that the serpent power is the essence of life. We knew that. And what happens? Spiritual discipline means you're following a spiritual concept and discipline and hold yourself accountable to live, I call Maya. That means that any of the mystical, semi-yogic, spiritual paths, anyone you choose. I showed you the lesson with the Christians, they took the religious route. For the philosophy, we took the philosophical yogic concepts. Okay, but you choose, your choice will cultivate the serpent power. Whatever you're doing, you need to raise your kundalini power. That's what anything you follow, all religions, is to do that. But the Christians say no. Why? Because they say serpent's bad, dude. So y'all won't raise your consciousness. They don't want you to. That's the prison they want to keep you in. Okay, that's one of my philosophical concepts about religion. But if that serpent power is raised, and they know that the churches, the religion, they know that the serpent power is raised, what happened? It will also lead to the cultivation of expansion of one's consciousness. You start to become wise, start to become smart. They don't want that. They want the masses. 85% they say is ignorant. And that's a disrespect to anybody who not enlightened. They call you dumb. They want to keep you dumb. Why? So they can control and manipulate you. That's why. And y'all fall for a hook, line, and sinker. I love my Jesus. I love that. Yeah, that's hook, line, and sinker. They got you coming and going. You're going to pass that same concept, philosophy down to your kids. And it's going to be a generational curse. What? Of ignorance. If you're religious, I got nothing against that. I say you're ignorant. Why? Because you ain't got the truth. I know that. Now, what you think is what about? I don't care. Okay, just facts is facts. It ain't emotional with me. And y'all get all bent out of shape when something don't go, or I'm telling you the truth about you get crazy. We ain't got to physically fight over differences, but we have wars of the same nonsense. But I'm not going to entertain that nonsense. I'm going to fight with something worthwhile. Okay? And if you get wrong, even religious concept, that's enough for me to fight. Okay. Moving on, so don't get it twisted. Again, knowledge. And this is one of the most powerful forms of spiritual discipline. And you as the aspirant, you can practice it when daily, like I do, and like I have been doing. It's a philosophy of highly specialized qualities and concepts and aspects of your character that requires what? You to be in good health. So I go to the gym every day. In order to be practiced properly, you have to nourish the body, the mind, and the soul. I work out, I pray, and I meditate, and I study. That's part of my life. That's what I do. I can be in a monastery. I can be a monk. Yeah, but I can go and just do what I need to do. Why? Block everything out. But I just can't leave my family and just do that. So I got to be here, put that into my lifestyle, and get it done on my terms. That's fine by me. But if I have my choice, I'll be gone. Why? I'm starting to get spiritually annoyed. Why? It's out of man. I'm starting to get a little perturbed with what I'm saying, and I'm trying to help. Nobody wants it. That's what perturbs me. Moving on. They need it. They don't even know. So I can't help. It's like seeing a friend, a loved one, struggling, floundering around in the water, and you want to help them out. They tell you, "I'm okay." Okay. But you don't look okay. You look like you're struggling. I'm trying to help you. From what I'm saying, I'm not getting your business. No. But if I see you struggling, I'm just trying to give you some advice to help you not struggle. Kick your feet, snap your hands, keep your head above water. Okay. Yeah. So now, if I can get you under control, now I can lead you to where you want to go. That's teaching. Moving on. But and this is again, when practiced properly, the benefits is all for you, who the one who practices. Trust me on that one. There are some specific disciplines that you need to cultivate, and they call it the life force. But those are for what? For more advanced practice, which will not be discussed in this video. Why? It's a little more than you can probably handle. I understand the concept now. I'm getting better at understanding what knowledge is to the person who don't want it. It's like poison. I know this is repellent. So I'm starting to understand that everybody don't want knowledge. I'm freaking out, but I'm learning. Again, my life lessons come from me living every day, and I'm practicing every day, learning what I need to learn to get where I want to be. Moving on. But the following, I'm about to break down a nice little lesson, is a brief overview of what we know as the serpent power in the context, okay, of the history and the introduction to your mystical philosophy behind it. What's the purpose? What's the reason? I'm giving you that esoteric meaning. That's the whole purpose of learning, not the esoteric, just the floor, the top part. So they're going to the beach and swimming on top of the water, never going underneath. This right here, that's the Sphinx, front picture. Now, everybody say this face has been reconstructed to look like Cheops or whoever. I ain't got time for that. That's another lesson. But you see here the face mask, Tutankhamun, the death mask they call it. And you see here the band right there. You start to see these two things right here. The vulture and the cobra. Natural enemies. They don't get along, okay, by nature. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why. But they are significant because we use their gifts to use, and we put them together. One represents lower nature, one represents higher nature. Again, mortality and immortality. The serpent represents immortality. Heads up. Okay, let's talk about the serpent power. I just showed you that. The serpent power is the most ancient discipline. Okay? History of the serpent power and yoga of life force development for what? Spiritual enlightenment in our ancient Commission concepts and philosophy that we practice, we call Shita Nada, Smatawi, Maya philosophy. But this is where the symbolism and the whole esoteric teaching comes from. Let's go. This is going to be fun. I like this. The serpent power, they call Arat Sekam, the teachings. It's teachings, it's lessons, known as Kundalini in India, yoga. And it was understood and practiced and mastered in ancient Kemet. Proof. It was thrilling for me, it's my teacher, Ashby, when I first discovered that so many years ago, as a scholar of African culture and spirituality, which he mastered, doctored, as well as the world religion, something else he also mastered and doctored, mysticism and yoga spirituality. Mysticism, Egypt, yoga, philosophy, in India. Same thing, just called by different names. Understand that. And they mirror each other. Watch this. I discovered the correlation between our ancient Commission, African, and the Indian culture. I love that. So many, in fact, that these become a subject of what? He made 2 books. WRIGHT Sekhem, The Commission, Serpent, Power, Yoga. That's the book I just showed you right there. I got that book, and it breaks it down, and it's a whole, it's like a mirror. They call it this, we call it that. It's the same thing, okay. We present it different, but it's the same thing. Like me and my pastor, sage and the saint. We cover different concepts, but it takes you to the same place. That's my point. And we understood that. So if what you're practicing is good, what I'm practicing is good, what is the problem? Okay, I'm not making you do what I do. You ain't trying to make me do what you do. Respectfully, we do that. And that's the difference in what we call religion today. Y'all want everybody to be you. That's called colonization. That ain't good for nobody. Except the colonizer. That's starting to run out. Moving on. But, I see the clock. This is going to be a minute. All right, don't care. This is the lesson. I'm putting the lesson down. We're going to get all of this. I'm going to give you all of this. When I'm done, you will have all of this. So let's rock. I'm going to speed up a little bit. But I discovered the correlation between the two and made 2 books out of it. And watch this. The Serpent Power Yoga was one of my main disciplines in personal practice. I love that one. Why? I personally was surprised to discover so much documentation and scriptural discourse on the subject from the ancient Egyptian priests and priestesses themselves. This is perhaps because the evidence, which were plain for all to see, have been misunderstood, misinterpreted, or corrupted, or dismissed by the new religious culture concepts. In any case, I set out to document and espouse the science, the proof, at least that part which is safe and effective that you can use and benefit. For those interested in this form, right thinkers, my people, of spiritual practice, right thinking philosophy, the first documented evidence of serpent power appeared in 10,000 BCE. The teachings of WRIGHT Sekhem was advanced and formed by the basis of spiritual and material culture of Commission society. They lived thousands of years practicing the Mayat philosophy, bettering themselves, knowing themselves, living in harmony with the land, and they was in total peace and harmony for thousands of years, something that man have yet to duplicate. This is all documented in the book that I just showed you, Serpent Power. I got lessons out there for you too. But the Serpent Power is only the teachings that's related to what? Fully understanding the psychology of the human soul and the personality as it relates to spiritual evolution. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. The human experience is what? Learning life lessons, practicing them, manifesting them, mastering them, and then when the physical body is done, you go back to the maker. Every religion tells you that. It don't make a difference. Moving on. It's universal, that concept. But it started with us. That's my point right there. It started with us. So we know better than anybody. So it is tied to the science. Again, science of what? Spiritual energy centers we call what? The chakras, and that's the Kundalini system. And the 3 main accordants are called the nadas in the Kundalini system and the life force energy known as Sekhem in Kemet. Same thing, different names. The origins of serpent power teaching in ancient Kemet, it goes back to the inception of the ancient Commission civilization. They practiced it, they lived it like I'm doing. Imagine a bunch of me. That might not be too pleasant for some people, but no, a bunch of people who individually know themselves, respect other people, and right to do it and be. We can get along in harmony. That's harmony. You can be white, black, green, yellow, orange, male, female, don't make a difference. Harmony is different things come together for the common good. That's why black and white will never come together. White can always be white. Black can always be black. Moving on. Some things don't supposed to be together. Oil and water don't mix. Everything don't go together. Natural enemies ain't going to coexist. They have to because they're there, but they're not going to interact. When they do, what's going to be a problem? People, me, if you disrespect me, we're going to have a problem. Simple as that. I'm not going to allow nobody to do that. So everybody has that right. Moving on. Even the animals. Okay, it's the nature of the beast. Strong will survive, weak fall by the wayside. Weak to me means ignorant of yourself. You're weak. Why? Because people going to manipulate and use you. That's why. But again, it goes back to our ancient tradition. In the ancient Egyptian great sphinx once had a massive head of a cobra perched on the forehead. Right there. Not the perfection. We wear this cap symbolically. Why? Because you see what the bottom level is? Okay, that's the level of time. Okay, everybody who born into this world got to travel on that level. Okay, the angles, be precise in your movements, in your action, in your decision making. All this is symbolically the triangle. Okay, the best established foundation you can have. That's why it's all over the world. Wide base foundation and taper as it goes up. Simple as that. That's the monument. The phallus, the male phallus, same thing. But the serpent was on the forehead. Now it is now in the British Museum. Everything we did, they want to save and preserve it. If it wasn't good, why would they? Moving on. But however, we know that what the positioning of the serpent symbol relates to serpent power teachings. Why? Because there's scripture that describes the serpent power movement and how it leads to human beings' spiritual evolution as what discovered among various papyrus, meaning writings, paper, related to the rituals. They was written down, documented, so they make it up. No, they got documents, and they got that in the museums also, okay? The rituals of the temples, and translated by Dr. Muata Ashby in the book of Serpent Power. We got all the information right there. I did that. I just showed you a picture right here. This is the top part, right here. In stone, serpent, okay, right here. Okay, you see it everywhere, okay? You see it everywhere. 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 It was significant. And for the Christians to say it's bad, I can't roll with you on that one. Now, I just showed you the first picture with the cobra of the Great Sphinx that's now in the British Museum. At the bottom of that, you see the pharaonic headdress, traditional, visible in ancient Egypt culture. From their headdress, it's all about. When I put this on, I go right to teaching mode. When I put my other hats on, I go right into sage mode. It's a different concept. Why? Teaching is from the book. My sage is from the dome. So I have two different things that I do. We all got alter ego, okay? P-Funk is my alter ego, okay? Right thinking is my teaching. P-Funk thinking, right, is my alter ego concept. I got it from George, Parliament Funkadelic, two different bands, but they can play whatever they need to do. I can dance on any kind of weather, okay, moving on. And that's called being versatile. I'm killing the algorithm. Why? It may be hurting my view. Why? Nobody know where I'm coming from day to day. Why? They can't get a grasp on it. Why? I'm doing my thing. It ain't about what they think. I'm doing my thing. Those who appreciate what I do, y'all tune in and get it. Those who don't know, well, I don't know what he's talking about. Okay, that's fine. What are you talking about? He ain't talking about nothing. Okay, my man K-Dot do his thing. I'm doing my way. Let's go. And I just showed you the picture. The early Christian era established serpent power tradition and the tradition of the pharaonic system of government. It was done and put the government for at least, you ready? Back at least 10,400 years ago. We was governed things. We was organized. We was running society over 10,000 years ago on our terms and our land. Till that white man came in. I keep telling you that my history don't include him. Okay? We just like the Indians will tell you, Native Americans, after ancient one or old one, they'd tell you everything went south for us in 1492. What? That's when that white man darked our shores, thinking he was somewhere else and didn't know where the hell he was at. And he get credit for discovering something. Moving on, I ain't got time for that. I get annoyed. And I just showed you another picture. Next page. We getting there. I don't care about the time. Okay. See the picture right there? Everybody knows this. That's the picture of the Death Master Tutankhamun. But if you look close, you see what's on there? A vulture and a serpent. Okay, we're gonna break that concept down for you right now, okay, symbolically. And that's everything we did was based on symbolism and esoteric teachers. Why? So the average person won't know what we do. That's what they call the Egyptian mystery system. Why? We didn't tell. Okay, outside Masons, you reading the Masons, you don't know what we do. We ain't gonna tell you. We're gonna tell you a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, if I tell you, I gotta kill you. Oh, yeah, see? But not understand esoteric and speculative and operative concepts, they really don't get the meaning. Okay, so they hide it in plain sight. I get that. And the white man know how to do that. He's been doing it to you ever since. We did it to teach. We did it for a positive and more noble purpose. He's doing it for what? Deceit, manipulation, and control. How about that? That's called religion. Sorry. Yeah, I just showed you the death mask for the purpose. So below the figure A, that was the funeral death mask of Tutankhamun. He had all the riches. He had everything. But when he no longer was here, he didn't take none of that with him. That's a perfect example. We ain't got to give you a story, but no, that's a fact. We got his stuff right here to this day. And my man, same thing. When he died, all his stuff stayed here, and everybody came and took it. That's what they did to him. What's that about? I'm not leaving y'all a damn thing. How about that? So don't come looking for, well, he had this. I ain't got nothing. Books I'm leaving to my grandkids. But other than that, I'm not accumulating nothing but knowledge. That's all I got for you. Why? That I can take with me. This stuff here, none of this stuff going. Clothes, books, none. No, it ain't going nowhere. It'll be here for somebody else, but it ain't going with me. So get that understanding first, and you'll be a better individual. Why? You won't worry about things and stuff. I need this. I gotta have that new car, big house. You can't take none of that with you. Oh, I forget. Y'all ain't planning for the afterlife. Y'all planning to come back here again. That's what's gonna happen if you don't get wise. Okay, enlightened. That's all I'm trying to tell you. I'm not here to scare you, try to BS you. I'm just trying to tell you facts of what I know about life. Let's go. And the Death Master Tutankhamun, it shows the coverage of what? The two goddesses. You notice Ujat was the serpent. Okay, the eye is Wajet. Ujat and Wajet different. Serpent and neck Hebet, which is the vulture. The vulture represented by Mu. Okay, it was said that's the ultimate mother. If she can't find something to feed her kids, she'll chew off her leg and feed it to them. She can take dead meat, courage, and take it and bring it back to life to feed it to her kids. That's power. That's resurrection of life. That's the concept. And they know that about her. How about this? When she want to get pregnant, she guard Mu in and open up. Don't need a man. Did you know that? See, these are things that the qualities that the ancient Egyptians used as God gifts, to use them, to understand them. So the vulture was significant in that manner. See, all those are attributes to that concept and why they show you the vulture, why they got the head of the bird. All those things were significant. It said more by showing you than give you a whole bunch of blah, 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 like I'm doing now, bunch of lip service. You can just look and you see the cobra and the serpent. Oh, I get it. Let's break it down for you. All right. That was the New Kingdom period. Again, Tutankhamun was the last of pharaohs. And figure B at the bottom of that, see right here. Now they made it real simple. Every time I watch some ancient movies, I always see somebody with a feather. In Egypt, everybody wore a feather. That represents Mayat. Okay, so you didn't know. But this right here is the headdress. A thin piece of wire right there. But you see what's on the front? Cobra and the vulture. Okay, they understood the significance and the power and the symbolism behind it. And it tells you here, they call it the diadem, is worn by the mummy of Tutankhamun underneath the mask, okay? And it literally depicts what? The movement of what they call serpent power. As described in the serpent power text. You see at the bottom, you see them coming up on the side? Down here, two serpents, twin serpents. Left this, I said, and left that. Mortality, immortality. Okay, that's what they represent in Kundalini. But this is a diadem. And at the top, you see right up there, that's all explaining the concept. When you see that, they understood what I'm about to read to you while just breaking it down. And it showed the movement, the two serpents moving up the back, right there, like the spinal cord. That's your damn sign right now. This is the spinal cord. The two serpents coming up to meet up here to wake up, enlighten you. What? It's all mental. It's all knowledge. Light means knowledge. We get enlightened to have knowledge of self, knowledge of God. Again, that was the concept, and it makes a lot of sense. It goes up the side of the head, and then move up across what the brain and meet at the point between what? Right there. It's a little P thing called the pineal gland. The thalamus, hypothalamus, and the pineal. They call it the three wise men. Not real people. Pineal gland. Okay, that's God's communicating device that He put in man. The only animal or being that has a pineal gland in the animal kingdom is the cat. Did you know that? See, these are things that the ancients symbolized and understood. So He used them to teach, to use as metaphors and symbols to give you a better understanding of what? Yourself, how you work. Now, that was the one between the eyebrows. This is where the third eye is located. The Ajna chakra, the sixth chakra. You got one at the sacrum, two coming at the scrotum, three at the solar plex, four the heart, five the throat, six. Ding, 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 ding. My favorite number, 666. Okay, mark of the beast. For those ignorant ones, it means 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 6 protons. We are carbon-based beings. That's the human part about man. It's the spirit that's in us. The being is the 666. That's what it makes it. Spirit don't need no damn numbers. Excuse me. But next one over. Let me wrap this up. Yeah, wow, a little long, but I'm almost there. We're almost home. This is it. We're going to the backstretch. Again, pictures, and then the words. Vulture represents lower nature. Serpent represents high nature. That's why he's up here, and he protects what? His intellect. That's why he makes sure 6 feet away he can spit venom and keep you up off him. So, yeah, that's where that comes from. And they buried people 6 feet deep. They had the bubonic plague, okay? All this is history and information. But doing culture, you had to understand what's going on. Right here. You see the serpent? Around the sun disk? That's Ra. And this is the serpent protecting. You see the bird brain? See the bird head? Ra don't have a human head. He got a bird head. Falcon. Baddest thing in the air. This is him, the sun disk. Baddest thing up in the sky. Okay, the serpent protects it. And again, the bird head, all this is regalia. See the key light? Everybody carried the arm. Everybody had this to show you who they were and what they was about. Royalty, sovereignty. All these is headgears. You've seen all these headgears before. I'll break it down for you, and that's the lesson. I can wrap it up, and I can prepare this out. Give me a few more minutes. I'm almost home. Now, the forehead, I just showed you images below. The region, the forehead region, is the sixth center. I'll try to explain that to you, get you ready for this. The psycho-spiritual consciousness. At the sixth level, it's the jackpot. Ding, 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 ding. Bells and whistles. Now you are what they consider a enlightened being, an akos, a enlightened person who has knowledge of self, knowing that you and God are one. It don't get no higher than that. That's Nihas, Christians, anointed, whatever you call it. Again, I'm not beat for what you call it. My thing is to get it, to have it. What? It's called a mystical experience. You and God becoming one. You know that for yourself. Call it what you want. How about that? So moving on. But you see here, the vulture and the serpent are symbols of the serpent goddesses. One symbolizing death, nature. If you're born, you will die. That's Nephthys. We got that concept. Always had it. She's opposite. They born twins. Nephthys and Aset are twins. Why? They go together. They can't separate. Life and death go together. Nature and immortality go together. Okay, they represent. And that's what they're showing you. Watch this. Hope you're ready for this. Death and the consumption of what? Of life, which is your lower aspect, which is the vulture. Okay? That represents you can take something that's dead, eat it, chew it up, and give it back to life for somebody else to nourish off it. That's the power of the vulture. That's the gift that God gave the vulture. Okay? Don't need a man to get pregnant. Someone would love that idea. Okay? But that's the concept. But now the drawback is, if you don't need a man to have a baby, you need a man to raise it. Moving on. See, these are all concepts. And when you're dealing in myth, you don't have to break it down to, oh, well, it's just a myth. It's just a concept. Get the message. Never mind. Did anybody have it? Can anybody be it? Sounds so annoying. get the lesson. I would learn to listen and get the plot and understand the matter. Question what you think you're learning. Question what you think the plot is about. Question what you think the philosophy is saying. That's all. I ask questions to my pastor every Sunday after the lesson that he gives us. Why? To let him know that I'm understanding what you're presenting. Why? It's something new to me. Simple. I'm learning. I ain't there to critique. I'm there to learn. And all students should be there, just at all ears. Okay, and use your mind to what? Hear and understand, comprehend, reflect, and meditate on. That's all done by you. A lot of us fall way short when it comes to doing that. Use this for something other than a damn hat rack. All right, the vulture, the lower aspect. We not into the ego thing. We into the whole different philosophical. The vulture represents lower nature. Okay, and the other symbolizes the serpent, which is the higher aspect, which is the cobra. Again, they protect your intellect. He covers, he shields what all those who get up under his umbrella of knowledge and understanding philosophically. And these are all aspects of serpent power, what they represent. Okay? And again, I'm wrapping the lesson up with Christians. You got really whiffed on the serpent, gave him a bad rap. That's on y'all. Hope you got the lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoy giving it. I'm having fun. This is what I do for you. Hope you're enjoying it too. In closing, right thinkers. May y'all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I never know that my right thinkers have passed away, and my lessons seem to be getting a little longer. Hope they're getting better.